In the midst of the journey of our life, perhaps a little earlier in my own case, I too found myself within a darkened wood where the straight path had been lost, thorned brambles around me, prowling beasts, and strange echoes, murmuring from afar, whispering deceitful illusions into my sorrowed ears. At that moment, I had to choose, to remain there, trembling in fear, or to step forth with courage into that dim and dreadful realm, to seek the silver path, the way of magic light. Brandon, October 2025. Introduction. Dear readers, I am truly glad that you are here to read these words of mine. I regard awareness as one of life's greatest treasures, a force that can help us fight against the many forms of negativity and distortion that, in the form of thoughts, beliefs, or destructive attitudes, can imprison our soul, dim the light that makes each of us authentic, and limit or even reverse our evolution. Throughout my life, I have always been a seeker of truth. For as long as I can remember, I cannot recall ever being otherwise. I have always had a curious and lively nature, driven by the desire to understand, to search, and to discover, full of spontaneity and, at times, a kind of disarming innocence. At every stage of my life, I often found myself being the confidant of those around me, offering advice they considered particularly illuminating. Personally, I wasn't entirely aware of this aspect of myself. That way of feeling seemed completely natural to me. It had always been part of who I was. Of course, despite this, I too had my fears and insecurities, just like anyone else. I have had my share of struggles in life, as everyone does. Gradually, I noticed my ability to perceive my inner light fading, especially from the age of 18 onward. During that time, while I was engaged in a meaningful and enriching course of study, I also began to experience a long and painful illness, which not only afflicted my body but deeply affected my emotional world as well. I did my best to carry on with strength and courage, but around the age of 25, I suddenly found myself at a standstill, a kind of limbo in which I remained for some time. At a certain point, I told myself I had to get out of it. To do so, I decided to turn my search no longer outward, as I had always done, but inward, toward myself. Gradually, I descended into my own underworld to recover the light of my heart. Its absence had turned my world into a place without sun, dark and frightening. With courage, I opened the chest in which I had gradually locked away my deepest fears and sorrows, hoping to forget them. But unfortunately, I had also sealed away much of my vital energy. I began to retrace my past, determined to face every inner demon, no matter the cost. At first, I felt disoriented. Yet after those uncertain first steps, I happened to meet my own Virgil, a wise guiding spirit who illuminated my path along the way. This inner journey gradually led me to rediscover my purest essence, that which makes every being alive and unique. Through this experience, I am learning to know my true self and, more broadly, the human soul itself. The ancients called this the great alchemical work, a symbolic path of transformation of the soul, which, through the integration of the shadow and transcendence, leads to harmony and to the conscious union of the opposing forces within each of us until we reach the true unity of the self. My journey is still only at its beginning, and still, in the face of existence, I am and will always remain an eternal learner. Brandon, October 2025. That said, having seen that what I have understood has also been helpful to others, I have decided to share with you the golden seeds I have gathered so far. I would like to make it clear that what I speak of represents only a part of reality, the portion of the landscape that my own path has allowed me to see. Other people will, of course, perceive different sides of reality according to their own experiences. Each of you is free to believe or not to believe my words, according to your own experience and perception. With the hope that at least one of these paragraphs may resonate within you and enrich your awareness, I welcome you into my vision of the world.